Hello everyone, and welcome to episode number 4 of this glorious series that I'm doing called How to Solo over almost anything. I say almost, not everything, but almost everything. If you haven't watched the other 3 videos, you need to go watch those because we're just going to continue moving forward with what we have learned in those 3 videos. In each video, I build off of what I did in the previous video, which builds off what I did in the previous video. So if you haven't watched the other videos, you need to go do that, or you will be pretty darn lost. So we have our A minor scale, and we've been using this a lot, and we've practiced a lot, and we've been using it to solo over all kinds of stuff, and we know that really well. And the last lesson, we learned how to take that A minor scale and move it around to make, like, maybe, I don't know, a B minor scale. Or maybe, I don't know, an F minor scale. We learned how to do that. Then obviously you can use that same shape as a major scale, and you can move that around too. So we've been moving this shape around. We've been using it as a major scale, as a minor scale, but it's been the same shape since we started this series. Well, that is about to change. So I'm going to teach you guys another shape, because we started in A minor, and you probably know A minor the best. I'm going to keep it in A minor right now. So we have this one over here that starts on the 5th fret, but now I'm going to give you one that starts on the 12th fret. Yes, this 12th fret is very far from the 5th fret. It'll be hard to get from here to here to use them both in the same scale, but I have a reason for doing this, so just bear with me for the time being. So, everyone, play the 12th fret of the 6th string with your first finger. Still on the 6th string, we want the 13th fret with your second finger, and then the 15th fret with your 4th finger. So we have this. Moving down to the 5th string, we want the 12th fret with the first finger, the 14th fret with the third finger, the 15th fret with the pinky. The 4th finger, not the pinky. So that gives us this. And then on the 4th string, we're going to have a 12th fret, first finger, 14th fret, third finger, 15th fret, 4th finger. So the 4th and the 5th strings have the same frets and fingers. So from the bottom, it should sound something like that. It shouldn't sound something like that. It should sound exactly like that. Then we're going to the 3rd string, and we have the 12th and 14th frets with our 1st and 3rd finger. So that the whole thing thus far sounds like this. Then we're going down to the 2nd string, which will be the 12th, 13th, and 15th frets with our 1st, 2nd, and 4th fingers. And then the 1st string is the same as the 2nd string. It's also the same as the 6th string. So it's going to be 12, 13, and 15 with the 1st, 2nd, and 4th fingers. So 2nd and 1st strings are the exact same fingers and frets. So when you play the whole thing from the very bottom to the very top, you get this. And that is another A minor scale. So you can use these notes to solo, to come up with solos and to improvise and whatnot, in the key of A minor, when you're playing over music that is in the key of A minor. Just like we've used this one for a long time. Now we can use this one. And just like with the other shape that we learned, we need to learn the root notes in this shape. The lowest root note is going to be on the 5th string, the 12th fret. So this 1, 2, 3, 4th note right here. This 12th fret, 5th string right there. That is a root note. And then after that, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 right there. You have another A. You have another root note right here on the 14th fret of the 3rd string. So there's 2 root notes in this scale, the 12th fret of the 5th string and the 14th fret of the 3rd string. So you can land on those to kind of give your solos, your musical sentences some resolution. So I'm going to bring back that backing track, and I'm going to solo on top of it using both the old scale that we've been using for a while and this new scale. And I'm going to try to walk you guys through it and tell you what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and stuff like that to give you an idea of how you can use this scale. So we're going to start up here on the 13th fret of the 2nd string and do like 13, 12, 13, and that's going to give us this right here. You can do the same thing on the next string, but I landed on the 12th fret. That sounds better. There's the root note. Now I'm going back to the 5th fret. This is where we started the series. There's a root note, and I'm sliding back up to the new scale. So now we want to be able to find these two scales and be able to play them for any given key. Well, how are we going to do that? Well, on one of the scales, the first scale that we learned in the first video of this series, the root note is on the 6th string. In this other one that I just showed you, the root note is on the 5th string. So whatever key we are playing in, we need to find that note on the 6th string and then on the 5th string, and then we can play both of these scales based on that note. So in our A minor example, we know that the 5th fret of the 6th string is an A. So if we start that first scale there, we get an A minor scale. We also know that the 12th fret of the 5th string is an A. How do we know that? Because the open string is an A. And we know that the 12th fret is the same as the open string. So the 12th fret of the 5th string is an A. Therefore, we're going to play the new scale that we just learned, the one with the root note on the 5th string, up in that general area. But the root note is not the first note of the scale. With the first scale that we learned, the root note was the first note. That is not the case with this new shape that I'm showing you today. With this new shape, the root note is the 4th note. So you need to kind of play backwards to find the first note that you're going to play. Even easier than going backwards is just knowing that you start on the root note and then go up a string, physically up, and stay on the same fret. So our root note is on the 12th fret, 5th string. So that means we're going to start on the 12th fret, 6th string, and then play that shape that I taught you a couple minutes ago. Right there. So as you've noticed, the scale with the root note on the 6th string is down here, and then the scale with the root note on the 5th string is up here. But it's not always going to be like that. So let me give you an example where it's not like that. Let's do, I don't know, E minor. Let's do E minor. So first, we need to find an E on the 5th string and an E on the 6th string, and we're going to play our scales accordingly. Obviously, the E on the 6th string is going to be the 12th fret, because the open E string is obviously already in E. So with our shape that has the root note on the 6th string, we're going to start on the 12th fret of the E, and then just play that shape as we normally do. But let's find an E that's on the 5th string. We know that A is the open string. We know, so that would mean A sharp or B flat is the 1st fret, B is the 2nd fret, C is the 3rd fret, C sharp or D flat is the 4th fret, D is the 5th fret, D sharp or E flat is the 6th fret, and E is the 7th fret. So the note that we're looking for, we already found it on the 6th string. Now we just found it on the 5th string. So the 7th fret of the 5th string is an E. And like I just said, the scale with the root on the 5th string doesn't start on that note. You can start on the string above it, the string above that root note, but the same fret. So our root note is on the 7th fret of the 5th string. We're going to start on the 7th fret of the 6th string and play that shape that I just showed you today. So we have a shape with the root note on the 6th string, and we have a shape with the root note on the 5th string. And if I were to play over something that is in the key of E minor, I could use both of these scales that I just showed you to play over it. The root notes, those very important notes, are in the same places relative to the shape itself. So now I am going to bring back that same backing track. This time it's going to be in the key of E minor, and I'm going to solo over the track using both of these scales. So I'm going to start on the 10th fret of the 1st string. That's the highest note of the shape that we learned today in the key of E minor. There's a root note for you. Now I'm going to slide up. This is the other shape. That last note was a root note. So to recap, when you hear someone say we're playing in this minor key, whatever this is, you need to find that note on the 5th string and then on the 6th string, and then you can play those two minor scales based around those two root notes. As always, you can use this same set of notes not only as a minor scale but also as a major scale. So let's go back to A minor, the example that we know so well. We know that you can use these notes right here as both A minor and C major. In the same way, this new scale, this new shape that we learned today, starting on the 12th fret, you can use that also for both A minor and C major. But as you might have suspected, the root notes are not in the same places. Obviously, now the root note is not going to be A, the root note is going to be C. And once again, there's two of them. There's this note right here on the 15th fret of the 5th string, which would be the sixth note in general. That's a C. And then there's the 13th fret of the 2nd string. That note is also a C. That would be, I don't know which note that is, 6 plus 7, 13. That would be the 13th note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If you're playing in a major key, you're going to use those as the root notes. So let's find the scales for another key. Let's say that we wanted to play a solo over something that is in the key of B flat major. B flat major. So that means we need to find a B flat on the E string and the A string, a B flat on the 6th string and the 5th string. Well, we know that the 5th fret of the 6th string is an A, so that means the next note is a B flat. That was easy. So we have found the root note on the 6th string. We also know that the shape that we use that has the root note on the 6th string, that first shape that I taught you guys in the first and second lessons of this video series, we know that when you use that as a major scale, the root note is the 3rd note. So we want this note right here, this B flat that we just found, to be the 3rd note of the scale. In order for that to be the 3rd note of the scale, that means we need to start on the 3rd fret. So that first shape that I showed you guys in the first video, we're going to play it starting on the 3rd fret. That is going to create a B flat major scale because the 3rd note is a B flat. So that would sound like this. But we also need to find a B flat on the 5th string. Obviously, there's one way down here, the 1st fret of the A string. Obviously, the note after A is going to be B flat, but that's really low. Let's not really mess with that. Let's go up here to the 13th fret of the A string. That's a B flat. We know that because the 12th fret of the A string is obviously an A, so the 13th fret must be a B flat, the note after A. We also know that when you play the shape that I just taught you guys today, the one that has the root note on the 5th string, as a major scale, then the root note is the 6th note of the scale. So we need to make sure that this 13th fret of the 5th string is the 6th note of the scale in general. In order for this to be the 6th note of the scale, that means our first note is going to be the 10th fret of the 6th string. So thus our B flat major scale would sound like this. There's a root note, there's another root note, and then you can play it backwards. Like that. So we have this guy down here, and then we have this guy up here. Where are you? Sorry. And if we were to play in B flat with this first scale, the root notes are here, on the 6th fret of the 6th string, here, on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string. Oh, that worked out well. And then here, on the 6th fret of the 5th string. Up here, the root notes are the 6th note in general, so the 13th fret of the 5th string, there. And then we're going to go 7 more notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 11th fret of the 2nd string. And then that's the only 2 root notes. So if you wanted to solo or improvise in the key of B flat major, you could use these notes that I just showed you, and then if we wanted to add some resolution to our musical phrases, you could land on those root notes, and that's how this works. I'm not going to give you guys an example of using this in the major key because I think you guys are tired of hearing me talk, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have 4 backing tracks on the outro to this video. They're going to be in 4 different keys. 2 of them are going to be minor keys, 2 of them are going to be major keys, and what I want you guys to do is practice using both of the scales, both of the shapes that you guys know now. The one that has the root note on the 6th string, one that has the root note on the 5th string. So whatever key you're in, you're going to have 2 scales that you can use, and I want you to practice using both of them to solo over these tracks, and you're going to have 4 different opportunities to do that. If you like the video, make sure you like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications and all that good stuff. If you have any questions, let me know. If you have anything that you want to see on the channel, let me know, and I will see you guys in the next video.